Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukkake, your host. Our heroes have joined forces with the mysterious Bryn to get to the Thiefys and steal the top award for Quinny himself. But will their stolen pass coins get them into the awards? Will Bryn remain on the side of our heroes? Does Butthole even know how to use his new sword? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
I think I lean over to Quinny and whisper in his ear, he looks like his parents.
Holy shit. Quinny wasn't drinking, but he does a spit take. There's just liquid in his mouth. It just all comes up.
He vomits.
He might even, he does like a vomit spit take. I don't think I would even know what to say to that. I think I just look Bryn like up and down, and I'm seeing her in like a completely different light, and she's like 100 times more dangerous than I already thought she was. And I walk away. I don't want to talk to Bryn anymore.
So having been in my excellent equipment, I come over to Bryn and I'm like, Smithy's pretty great.
Yeah, he is.
I think we should be friends. Let's do drinks. Let's talk about our childhood. Like, I just want to share everything now.
I would love that.
Quinny looks over to Alan and is like, see, he's still kind of the same.
Yeah, this is a good sign, I think.
Also, she might know his parents.
What?
We will discuss that
Yeah.
like at another time. We probably need to sit him
Yeah,
down.
I have so many questions for her.
Having successfully completed your adventure at McSquiggly's, you
A phrase Tom didn't know he was saying this morning.
You're
I
welcome,
wanted to go to the play zone. The kids zone where Quinny feels like
Safe.
one of the big boys.
Yeah, everything is to his scale.
Yeah.
Like for him, it's just a premium hotel.
Yeah.
every time he steals from kids, he's like, yeah, it was like taking candy from you.
Finally, someone appreciates my brilliance,
That's
he says
right.
to a crying 8-year-old.
I bring that like prison sensibility to the play zone. Just like steal candy, like that's what it's like in the ball pit, bitch. And just like nobody gets where this hostility is coming
all
from.
three of us are looking through the glass into the play zone where he's robbing children. I just go, aw, shit. So I go, he grows up so fast. Just kidding.
So after a few minutes trying to regain your cool in the play zone,
Jokes about him being short.
you use a few moments in the play zone while you're putting on your like tough prison exterior to actually consider what's going on. So where's Quinny's mind at with all this right now?
Jesus, I mean, he looks like his parents, so she knows what his parents look like. I don't even know what his parents look like. We need to be so careful around her. And then I go down the slide. Yeah.
I imagine Bobbert and Bryn are probably actually watching Quinny. I think Bryn more with a sense of like horror, but also like gentle amusement, maybe?
Yes.
I'm also just telling her about my elementary school experience. Like, I'm just starting early and then just try to see what stories I can get back, you know?
Yeah, and I'm well trained in splitting my focus, so I'm giving him enough false information that seems real while still taking a good look at
What
Quinny.
is some of the false information? Because Bobbert has a history of remembering these things and making them very important later.
Bringing them up in ways no one really expected or wanted them to be brought up.
I'm giving you a very cookie-cutter childhood. My mother died really early, and my father and I were left alone. I was away at school a lot. He sent me away to school. I fell in with the Thieves Guilds, and
I'm like, oh, so we're the same person. We're right on the level. I get it. I mean, my parents are both alive and want me dead. My dad had a spell where everything he said I had to do, and they wanted to make me a cleric for the god of war, but I escaped and created, discovered my own goddess who's now forsaken me, and hence I hate everything and myself, and ultimately think life is completely pointless, and now I will do as much screaming into the void as I can before I'm clawed into it. But, I mean, same.
cool.
I think Quinny spots Bryn and Butthole conversing, and knowing what he now knows, wants to put a stop to that. I approach them and I say, hey, look, I've actually got a stop to make as well, so we should probably get going.
Oh, you got to get to the ball pit?
Well, no, I'm not allowed in there anymore. They just told me.
Oh, yeah. Reginald, he was watching you. You got a little pushy.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You stride epically out of the ball pit.
I pocket one of the balls.
Never know when that's going to come handy.
Yeah.
Alan, what have you been doing during this time?
I've just been like hanging off the side of Butthole and Bryn's conversation, just kind of like listening in, looking around. I still don't know how to approach Bryn yet. at this point. I don't know what her motives are, and I'm really wary now.
Fair enough. Quinny, you've rejoined the group. Where do you guys go next?
I'd like to go to some kind of tinkerer's shop, someone who does very sort of like fine work with small moving parts to get the night vision goggles. I think they were called the goggles of the owl.
Yep.
Repaired that Tornado Town Terrence just straight up smashed, I believe.
I think he picked up a rock and hit himself in the face with the rock, breaking the goggles.
There we go, yeah. And I confiscated them from him because this is why we can't have nice things.
Oh, shit. And I run back to McSquiggly's and I go, sorry. And I drop off one of the golden stakes that's covered in gems. I'm like, that should cover it. And then I run back to the group because technically we never paid.
He like looks at it and he holds it up and he's like, I can open my own hotel. And then he puts it in his belt and goes back to work. Bryn, you take Quinny to the best tinkerer and fence that you know in town. Unfortunately, you find the shop is actually closed. It looks like the tinkerer isn't in. So you take him to the second best one, and for a cost of $250, he'll fix the goggles.
Done.
He sort of takes them in the back. You can hear sort of like a classic cartoon, someone's constructing something noises. Then he comes back out, and he's literally just swapped out the lenses. Good as new.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. He's a really interesting character. We just don't have time for him right now.
Yeah, we should go.
I kill him. No.
But how can you kill a ghost?
Oh, see, that's a fun twist. So
yeah.
he's not dead,
Let's
but
leave.
I didn't commit a murder.
Yeah, just check out the expanded universe
Both got
book.
what you wanted.
I'm like, you beat me to it, but no.
You make your way back to Ojai Mark. At the back of the Ojai Mark, there's two sets of stairs that go up to sort of two long hallways with doors on either side. Bobbert and Alan, you are on the East Hall, and Quinny and Bryn, you're on the West Hall. So once you kind of start making your way up towards the bedrooms.
As you guys go to your bedroom, and we're at the top of the stairs, Alan and I, and we're going the other way, and all you hear as we walk away is me go to Alan like, do you think they're going to hook up? Because I think it's totally going to happen. It's a real will they, won't they? But all I'm saying is they'd be so cute together. They
Maybe
could
because
make,
I'm cute with anyone I'm with.
man, you could make a 3/4 size elf.
Alan, it sounded like you wanted to do something.
Do I know which room Bryn's is?
No, you just know that she's one of the 8 rooms.
Once I get into my room, I would like to turn into a bat, and I'm going to look into each of the windows and figure out which room is hers.
I'll open our window to let her out, and when she turns into a bat, I like do like a quiet applause. Like I'm into it. And I have to stop Goblin Jr. from trying to eat the bat.
You transform into a bat, and you fly out into the night, and you're very easily able to find them. So, Bryn, what did you want to ask Quinny?
I kind of get Bobbert.
Yeah, he's kind of upfront about that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of understand who he is. Tell me a bit more about Alan.
Why
What do you know
want to
about her?
know? She's
Well,
a very capable wizard. She's going to be great on the crew.
I need to know her strengths. I need to know her background.
Well, her strengths are magic, and I don't know many people who have used magic as creatively as she does.
Where did she learn it?
Like any other wizard, she went to school for it.
Do you have any info on her family? What they're like?
No, Bobbert, a.k.a. Butthole, he kind of does enough family talk for the both of us.
Really?
Yeah.
So Alan doesn't talk about her family at all?
No, and I would say that I don't either, actually, so it's kind of
Interesting.
weird that you're not asking me about my family.
Would you like me to ask you about your family?
No.
Would you like to tell me about your family?
No.
So why would I ask?
Why are you asking Alan about her family?
Alan doesn't seem to want to get to know me.
Yeah, like I said, she's really smart.
Oh, Jerry.
There's nothing going on here. You're going to need to start trusting me.
What's trusting a person like?
Wait, what? You've never trusted someone before?
Not someone I inherently do not trust.
I just need you to be honest with me.
I have been honest in the sense that no, I don't want to talk to you about my parents. Yes, Alan went to a school to learn magic.
Okay.
What else do you want?
If there's anything about Alan I should know,
For the purposes of this heist, she's actually surprisingly stealthy.
The camera kind of pans up to a window where there's just a bat like flittering around hilariously.
Is it like...
And then the bat flies forward and runs into the window, splatted against it, and does a slow slide down to like rest at the bottom.
I'm imagining like the way like bugs hit glass.
Yeah, I was picturing if you
Leslie
remember
Nielsen as Dracula.
Yes.
or
That's the one.
the bat from Fern Gully with the thing in his head that just runs into things
Robin
immediately.
Williams is...
Yeah.
Yeah. Needless to say, neither of them noticed the bat hitting the window.
listen, Quinny, I'm going to level with you. I'm higher up in the Thieves Guild than I fled on. I'm pretty well connected, and Alan has attracted a lot of attention.
What kind of attention?
There is interest in bringing her into the very innermost circle of the Thieves Guild.
Boy, does that hurt Quinny's heart once again. Just... Yeah, I think I just kind of let that sink in, and I say, I'm going to bed.
And as he leaves, I think I turn off all the lights, make it seem like I've gone to bed, and then go out the window.
Not to like bite on you, but I also planned on sneaking around tonight, so I do the same.
The thief thing.
I am waiting in my room, looking out the window, waiting for a bat to return.
Alan, can you please roll me a dexterity save to get out of the way of Bryn as she surprisingly
Sure.
comes through the window?
Fuck, I rolled a 1.
It's a nat 1.
That one.
Bryn stabs the bat. Alan is dead.
Alan, you're still trying to like get a handle on your bat senses.
Yeah.
When Bryn suddenly appears at the window, you're shocked. You actually fly directly into her, bounce off her face, and the shock and horror of fucking up a stealth check this badly causes you to actually revert into your human form.
No.
And you fall. You're only one story up.
Well, I just hit the fucking ground because I did not prepare Featherfall today.
Hells no. Bryn, what do you do?
From my room, I just hear Alan scream and a thud on the ground, and I'm like, me no lie.
Another Manic Monday.
Yeah, I'm like ready. I'm opening the door and climbing through down to like the bar.
So I think I land down beside her and I just look at her and I say, "Why were you outside my window?"
Honestly, I don't know anything about you, but you're a half elf. What the hell?
There are a lot of half elves in this world.
Really? I've literally never met another one.
Where have you been?
Around?
There are a lot of us, especially in this town.
Okay, so where are you from?
I grew up here.
I've got to the back door and I look out the window, but I see them talking, and I'm like, oh, making friends. And then I just sort of like, I just watch, but like a really proud mom through like a back kitchen window while her kid plays with another kid really happily.
Goblin Jr. is doing the exact same thing next to you in exact same pose.
Yeah, I'm actually holding him up because he couldn't get to the window otherwise. But then we do like the same windowsill thing where I like take a knee with one leg and he stands on that. And we're like matching almost, Macaulay Culkin Home Alone style. Like both of us just resting on the sill.
So Quinny, you've snuck up to the roof. Can you roll me a stealth check?
24.
You're well hidden.
I take Alan's hand and help her up.
Thanks.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. You?
Well, I didn't get hit by a window and fall down a story. So yes, I'm fine.
Speaking of, Alan, despite saying you're fine, you take 3 points of damage from the fall.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. But you're totally pretending it doesn't hurt until Bryn leaves.
Then I go about my business into the night.
So, Alan, you're going to let her go?
Yeah.
Quinny, you're going to try and follow her? Or what were you planning on doing when you're sneaking around?
I'm going to communicate to my group members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bryn, you slink off into the night. Quinny catches you both up on stuff. Would you tell Butthole about the parents' connection, or are you keeping that under your hat?
I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much been planning on killing this lady the whole time. So this is uncomfortable, but let's find out as much as we can. Hey, I'm going to treat her as a friend, because if there's one thing I know, I'm not deceiving her. Like the lady, like her a lot. All I'm saying is one wrong move, bam, sword in the neck.
You're
and then she's
handling
just
this
dead.
Really well.
Well, I mean, life has no meaning, and ultimately I'm going to die anyways. Who gives a shit about my parents? I've been forsaken by the gods. I'm an anti-atheist. They're real, and they hate me. Fuck them. Fuck me. Oh, my dad can say words? Who gives a fuck? And then I take 3 steps away, and then I come back, and I'm like, I probably should hear this to continue.
You got to remember, talking to him at all sets him off. Alan, is there anyone you know that would really want to know things about you?
Not the way she's going about it. I mean, obviously we know my mom wants to know where I am, but I'm sure Ranger's told her I'm fine by now.
Could Ranger be in the Thieves Guild?
This just doesn't speak of Ranger to me.
Yeah, as a thief?
Right?
No. No, he is not. She said someone close to her wants to know more about you.
Her pants.
Someone.
Look, I mean,
Pants do have 2 legs.
No, not. Oh, God, Butthole.
Hey, you want to get a sword in the face? What's my fucking name?
Bobbert.
And what's my last name?
Tingler.
Now put them together.
Bobbert Tingler.
You're fucking right.
Honestly, I'm fine saying that because your name is so...
Heisenberg ever. So we cut to Bryn. Bryn, you're going to meet up with your main contact in town. As you can imagine, busy day. So I think the way this works is you kind of have a dead drop. Rather than meeting in person, you're just going to basically drop a packet of information and go. What is the information you want to leave?
That I've made contact, that they are currently a part of my thieving crew for the Thiefys, the information that I've learned from Quinny about Alan, and that she might not know as much as we had hoped.
So you go to the dead drop, and inside you find a dagger that you're certainly familiar with, but that is a sort of a rarely gifted weapon. You recognize it immediately. You've used it before, but it's one of the Thieves Guild's like major treasures. You know that it's capable of tremendously damaging poisons, and it's in there with a note that says, just in case.
Finally.
Dun, 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 dun. You all awake the next morning with a bit of apprehension, a bit of excitement, particularly for you, Quinny, because the day has finally come. The Thiefys are finally here.
Not how I expected to go about it, but I'll take it.
In the morning, you make your way through Xanos to an area that looks like there was once a huge fire here. There are a lot of buildings that are crumbling, and there's sort of like the remnants of some baseboards of older buildings. This is kind of on the edge of town. Bryn, you recognize the mark of the Wanderers on one of these sort of dilapidated. It almost looks like it's been carved into the ash. So you go up. Each of you has your pass coin in hand. I assume you've got Goblin Jr. under your arm.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm going to do like the Ermine neck thing where I dangle one leg, like he's around my neck and he's leaning down and he's just like growling, but it looks fucking styling.
And I brought you a collar with his medallion on it.
Nice. He's wearing it. I'm suspicious of the collar secretly.
Are the spikes an issue for Goblin Jr.?
No, because like he can like work around. Plus his coat's so thick.
Oh,
like
wow,
they're not like needles. Like they're like the big chunky like Mad
Bowser
Max-ish.
spikes. I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
You all sort of look to each other.
Quinny doesn't get it. Like, what the hell? It's just a burnt down fucking dump.
Sure.
I look up at the sky, looking to the gods, and I just yell, "Witness me!" And I jump through the portal.
All of a sudden, there's sort of like a huge blast of suction, and all of you are pulled through after him. It seems that all the tokens are linked. All of a sudden, you are falling from not too high, but you find yourself weightless and then suddenly fall down into a sand dune. You kind of impact and sort of roll down the dune. The sun is beating overhead. You know, it's a clear blue sky. The heat is absolutely oppressive and unimaginably hot.
Oof.
Around you, you see more sand dunes.
Your Mad Max reference is pretty apt.
Gods are really trying to come at me with this black armor, but fuck you, I'm not taking it off.
I'm going to clamber up that dune to get kind of a bird's eye view if a bird were perched on top of a dune.
I'm going to follow Quinny, but to get a Quinny's eye view of Quinny when he's at the top of the dune.
It is so much lower than you'd expect.
I kneel.
So you get up to the top of the dune, and looking in every direction, it just looks like endless desert.
And I relay that down to the team. Like, there's nothing around here. Do we just get fucked at the Thiefys?
I don't think so. I feel like this is probably a test. This is probably part of it.
But we have to thieve our way out of a desert.
I take a handful of sand and put it in my underwear.
A thiefy drops from the sky into your hands. End of episode.
This is.
And then you realize you're gently delirious, and it wasn't a thiefy at all. It was just a fistful of sand in your underwear.
You got gritty undies.
No, it's fine because I was really damp, and now it's sort of like wicked it away. I feel like an athlete.
I don't know if that's how sand works.
That's definitely not how sand works.
How this sand works. Must be magic sand.
I definitely have to level with all of you. This is new. This is not how the Thiefys has ever gone before. I've never been here. I have no idea what's going on, and I think we're just all in this together now.
Great.
I silently debate killing her. I decide not to for now. I share none of this with the group, but I definitely think it.
Bryn, do you get that that's what he's thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
But I'm also kind of really excited because this is a challenge that I know has been set for me.
I gotta say, Quinny's kind of excited to like be in it now. Like, this is the Thiefys. This is it. It is hard and confusing and weird and hot.
Yes.
But this is the Thiefys, baby.
You're all sweating, except for Butthole, who's like still sweating a lot, but not, soaking.
like,
in
dry.
Yeah, he's dry. It is unconscionably hot out here.
God, okay. Should we dig? Like, is this like
I assume we have a few options. Digging is one of them. Perhaps continuing
walking?
walking, because if it's a mirage, usually it doesn't appear until you're going crazy.
Okay. I think we should probably walk instead of dig. Digging felt dumb as soon as I said it.
I stopped digging.
Goblin Jr. has been doing it with his mouth and just kind of like coughs out a puff of sand.
Yeah, and I look at him and I'm like,
Junior wasn't digging like a dog.
I look at the wolf and I'm like, use your legs.
He looks at his legs and looks at all of you and just lets out the most like dehydrated, gently delirious, like, snarf.
Yeah, fine. I'll carry you, but a lot of this is on you.
He's ashamed, but also lacking the guidance of Moonhammer, so the world is a scary place for him now.
Yeah, which is extra weird because I'm like, Moonhammer shouldn't have stopped helping you. Like, now she's a bitch.
So you
Nobody fucks with my dog. And then I pick up the gigantic wolf.
Can I fire an arrow out in front of us?
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to notch an arrow and let it loose.
So you do so, and the arrow just kind of soars through the air a sufficient amount of distance and then starts losing altitude and then just like hits the sand with like a boom.
Forget that. Ignore that, guys. That was just I don't know.
And then I say, but now we know the way to go because we can recollect your arrow. And I start walking that way.
I don't need, well, all right.
So you start trudging that way, and at first you're kind of walking with purpose, but similar to being lost anywhere, eventually it starts to get frustrating. You know, you're thirsty, you're tired, you're hot. You walk for what seems like hours. And then all of a sudden in the distance, you can sort of see something start to shimmer. Bryn and Bobbert, you see what looks like sort of far away, but not unreasonably far. You see a bit of green and what looks like a structure. And there seems to be a glowing orb that looks very similar to the sun.
Look, a mirage.
We might as well get closer and check it out.
Yeah.
You make your way towards it, and the closer you get, the shimmer is still there, but you can start to make out a large, it seems to be almost like a Eye of Sauron-esque set of spikes off the top, but a little bit more like a tuning fork, a little less like Mother of All Evil, and there's a bright burning orb in the middle of it. But you can also see greenery. There seem to be palm trees. Closer and closer you get, you realize it's a building that seems to have 3 large circular towers surrounding it. And as you get closer, you can see there's a red carpet outside and huge double doors. This thing looks like if you take an Aztec pyramid that's kind of steeped, giant kind of Jurassic Park style doors up front, palm trees, and a red carpet seems to be laid out in front of it.
I make sure that my longsword doesn't have any sand jamming in at its hilt, and I take the chain from my shield and hook it to the forearm guard and just get ready to rumble. And I put Goblin Jr. down, and I'm like, it's game time. We'll show those fucking gods who's a badass.
Well, dum-dums, welcome to the Thiefys.
You step up onto the red carpet, and immediately the doors fly open, and you can feel just a soothing mist on your face. And it seems that there's some sort of enchantment over the top of the door that's just sort of spraying a fine mist down.
Yeah, it's the Coca-Cola Cool Zone.
It's the Coca-Cola Cool Zone. Yep, that famous Faerun beverage, Coca-Cola. The doors, again, swing open. As you draw near, you can feel the past coins kind of rumble a little bit. And there's just a fine mist. It feels very refreshing.
I just want to hang out here for a minute. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm taking it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just watching for anybody to approach us because I'll fucking murder anyone at any point. Like, I am so ready to kill things to prove I'm worth something.
You haven't actually entered the building, right? Or are you going in?
I'm in so far as I am milking that
we're
mist.
in the cool zone.
Yeah.
So
Coca-Cola Cool Zone.
The cool zone is basically the door frame. So you're just kind of standing in the door frame.
I look at Quinny and go, this is a wonderland.
Directly ahead of you, there's a small sort of entrance room. Think you're going into a club or like either a private club like the Spoke Club here in Toronto or like a dance club of some sort. Sort of a small hallway, big set of doors at the end. There seems to be kind of a booth to the left with a couple people behind it. Behind them, you can see a large rack of small glowing orbs. They seem to be glass orbs that have some kind of like cloud or something trapped inside them. A small female gnome comes out and greets you and says, "Oh, hello, welcome to the Mirage, my friends. You've made it." And she's got a tray of just the most delicious looking drinks you've ever seen on them.
I motion to reach for a drink.
So you do. It's that famous beverage Coca-Cola, the Faerun Delight.
Awesome.
But it's
Are we going to get sued?
spelt with K's and silent H's.
Got it.
Coca-Cola.
Cola.
I mean, if you were like, this is Coca-Cola. Oh, it tastes like dicks. Like, that'd be a way worse problem than if we just enjoyed a cool beverage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they might be
could be
okay
about to
with
get
it.
poisoned.
It's not like Faerun Harpsy. I mean, that's garbage. The second you're in, you're already feeling so much more relaxed, except for Bobbert, who's ready to murder.
Maybe put the sword and shield away for now, big guy, but be ready for anything.
I'm good.
I just want you to understand that the way you look right now might invite violence onto us where it can be avoided.
I know. That's why I fixed the armor, and it's slaughter, gore, and blood punch. They're not called like subtle journey, make friends. Like we're doing what we're doing.
No, I get it. But we've got like a team thing going on right now.
Yeah, but I can't prove to all the gods that they're stupid unless I murder everyone who loves them.
Listen, Bobbert, we do not want to seem out of place. This isn't a place where you are stealing anything or we're going to fight anyone. The Thiefys is a place where we gather to celebrate. And if you come storming in with a sword and...
You guys
let's
just seem
go.
real paranoid.
Well, you're talking about killing a lot of people lately. So yeah, we're a little on edge.
Checking in.
I've never judged any of you for all the people you've murdered.
You don't know who I've murdered.
I want to think about that for a second because I feel like there's judgment somewhere.
Oh, okay. I judged you for like those 3 prisoners. When you murder an unarmed person who's tied up, I've judged you for those. That's valid.
Okay.
But I feel like anybody in battle, like, you got to do what you got to do. So right now, I'm a cosmic accident. Just me. A goddess loved me. Now she doesn't. All gods must hate me. So fuck him.
Oh my God, we get it. Okay.
Do you get it? Because you keep bringing it up. I've been on the same point the whole time. I'm feeling really not listened to. I thought we were family, Quinny. I thought we were family. And then I just like, enjoy your wish. And then I cry a little bit and go stand off to the side.
The gnome looks very uncomfortable at you crying, but it's that classic hospitality thing where she's like, oh, this is a private conversation, but I have to keep doing my job. So like a polite cab driver not paying attention to you yelling, she's just like,
Are these alcoholic drinks?
no.
Oh, I could really use a drink.
I take out my stein and bang it on the ground and drink it really slowly while I look at Quinny in the eye.
She kind of observes what's happening and snaps her fingers, and immediately another gnome dressed in the same kind of silky red robe with sort of like gold accents. So she sort of snaps her fingers, and someone immediately comes running out with a tray of small vials. And she's like, pardon me, sir. Can't help but notice how longingly you're staring at the beer stein. Can I offer something to punch up your punch? Ha ha.
Sure, thank you.
So she uncorks it, and she pours it into one of the drinks and offers it to you.
I come over and say, did you say blood punch?
No, sir, but I'm sure we could cook one of those up. Are you a vampire by chance? And she looks like gently concerned as if she should have this information and is already like making notes.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, if that changes, please let one of our staff know, and we'd be very happy to accommodate you.
I kind of like you. What's your name?
My name is Annan.
Annan. Big fan of the way you guys work.
Oh, thank you very much.
I think the professionalism is through the roof. Do you pray to a particular god?
Oh, sir, I wouldn't want to offend anyone, so let's say no.
That is the right answer. I like these guys a lot. I like them a lot. Stay atheist. Bye.
Please feel free to leave us a review on the Yelp board back in town.
Ow! That was for you. Enjoy that Yelp.
Oh, that was a good one. Alan, Bryn, are you accepting beverages?
No.
I will take a non-alcoholic beverage.
You take a sip, and it tastes like sunshine.
Oh,
But
lovely.
like happy sunshine, not like death in the desert sunshine.
Not like sunshine, like right next to the sun.
No,
right.
like at a safe distance.
Okay.
Safe and pleasant distance.
All right, I want to walk further into this thing before we get kicked out for looking like a bunch of podunk hicks. We got
So Annan basically sort of welcomes you over to the counter and says, so welcome to the Thiefys. It's very exciting. We're so happy you're able to join us. I see you must have, and she kind of like looks at the coin on Goblin Juniors. Oh, you got the wild card slot. Oh, well, that is very impressive. How is old Dale and Cat doing?
didn't get a chance to meet him. His guards are
We killed a guard with osteoporosis.
Says that'll happen.
Drink your milk.
This episode brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Canada.
All those ads where people are crying make more sense now.
So she kind of brings you over to the counter, and she brings out what are essentially consent forms for the Thiefys. So they lay out the rules expected of the Thiefys. So they've got like the Mirage has its own set of rules, which are things like don't cheat at the gambling tables, be nice to the escorts, and all that sort of stuff. But there's also a separate set of thiefy rules that are fairly ironclad. Bryn, these are familiar to you. Quinny, you kind of got the sense that it would be something like this, but basically there's a tournament in play at the Thiefys where essentially everyone who shows up is given a token that can be stolen. But the idea is stealing of any other sort is 110% banned. Like there's no stealing allowed, no violence allowed on site, with dire consequences to both in terms of guild membership and in terms of reprisals. However, you are all invited to try and steal other tokens throughout. The other condition of your stay at the Mirage during the Thiefys is to prevent any murder on site or thieving, or pretty much to keep a bunch of theoretically very dangerous people in line. They've instituted a very strict reprisal policy. Behind them, you can see, again, there are a bunch of small orbs that all seem to have like a little nameplate under them. These are called soul stones. Mm-hmm. They are built to contain a small part of your essence. So each of you will have to breathe into one of these, and it will take 10% of your soul. So if you fuck around here, they have a really good way of hurting you. Every single person who is attending has given one of these, and as a result, it stands as almost like the the classic shake hands to show you're not carrying a weapon kind of thing, where by agreeing to this, everyone's on the same page. You can only see them now because they want to guarantee you that they exist. However, once you've signed, they will be consigned to an extra dimensional safe house. So very safe, very secure, but that's the condition of entry.
Let me get this clear. I can't hurt anyone. I can't kill anyone. And you want a piece of my soul.
That's correct, sir, but we have great spa facilities. There are a couple of endorsed fighting areas if you'd like to get into some hijinks.
Excellent. What are
Sometimes
the rules in
biggest
those areas? Like fatalities possible?
No, sir, there will be no murder on site, but, in the arena, fun things can happen, I'm told.
All right, then I'm good to go.
I pick up a stone and I breathe into it.
As you do so, you feel almost an existential horror of just emptiness for just the briefest of seconds as this thing sort of pulls on your essence. Once you've done so, it's almost like an old bruise. Like you feel fine, but there's just a little... You can tell something's just a little bit off. And it's just the kind of thing that'll fade into the back of your mind, but you might be reminded of every so often. But
Oh, Bobbert, you're going to love this. And I pass him an empty stone.
sure.
I blow on it.
Same sort of thing happens.
It doesn't feel like anything to me. Like I'm sure it glows in whatever the fuck they want it to be, but literally I feel nothing whatsoever. I'm already an empty shell of a man.
Yeah,
I give it back to them, and one of them holds it and goes, "Oh God, so much hate."
And they're like, oh, you could put that on the hate rack. And there's just a bunch of them that are just...
Screaming orbs.
Yep.
Mine's the angriest.
Of course, sir. She looks at one of the other ones and just shakes her head. Bryn?
I'll have to breathe into it.
You've got into some magic entanglements before, but this feels different. It reminds you uncomfortably of some of the things you witnessed during your big undercover op back in the day. And there's just a small part of your brain that wonders if maybe this technology was born out of the doctor's experiments. Alan?
I take my stone and I blow on it. I'm ready.
So you...
This is just a Horcrux now. Like, my soul is in so many pieces. I've murdered so many people.
Alan just wonders if she breathes into 10 of them, will she be immortal?
her nose falls off and suddenly she's played by Rafe Fiennes. When you do it, you've kind of watched the haunted look on Quinny's eyes, the defiant look on Bobbert's face. Bryn's expression is like an inquisitive but gently uncomfortable. For you, it's not pleasant, but it also doesn't feel as draining. And yet the orb seems full.
I got so much soul.
You got soul.
And you're super bad. Goblin Jr. snarfs onto his, and you see him kind of shudder. In his head, he briefly sees his fellow wolves back in the wolf's cave get hammer smashed, and for the briefest second, he thinks maybe it was him. But then he remembers where he is, and you see him kind of like, oh, snarf. But of course, you don't know any of that.
I give him some beer out of my stein.
Yeah, he seems all right.
He has a soul.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Tom really gunning it after the Catholic Church here. Gave the wolf a soul.
That's what the arc is called.
Take that, the Pope.
Having done that, they kind of nod. Everything seems in order. They place the orbs on the racks. And then with a wave of her hand, the wall shimmers and disappears. So you're each handed a pocket guide to the rules just to make sure you got them. And then kind of comes out and welcomes you into the hotel proper. In terms of the common areas of the Mirage, there are 3 main floors that you have access to. The Mirage is most famous for the floor called the Oasis, which is the level you're currently on. Sort of one of the great tricks of the Mirage, and one of the things it's most famous for, is this room that can shift into whatever is needed. So it's a large area. It can be an arena. It can be a theater. They have all sorts of ways to shift the space into to new and interesting things. Currently, it's closed off until the festivities begin proper. The second floor is the Great Hall. It's a dining floor. The third floor is currently off limits, but will be open tomorrow. It's the Trade Hall, so there will be sort of an open trade area, think like a convention. All the thieves are here, so there's good stuff to be had. There's a VIP area that won't be accessible to you with your current level of pass coin. So she's like, one of the conditions of the Thiefys, of course, and also of the Mirage, for your convenience, is anonymity, because we understand as thieves, you probably don't want your presence to be known by everyone and anyone.
Right.
So as a result, we are happy to provide an extra layer of anonymity to those who choose to use it. Certainly you don't have to, but you're welcome to. Basically, she explains that there is a high-level enchantment running throughout the entire hotel that will blur your face. The way that they tend to do things is you register a symbol, and that's going to be your symbol for the event. So some people have aliases or names. If it's like, oh, I'm the Sparrow, then you can have that. It can also just be a random symbol.
Is the enchantment sophisticated enough that Alan and I are part of the same crew, so we'll be able to spot each other in the crowd if we're both enchanted?
Well, and that's why they offer the icons. So basically, and you can use your name certainly if you so desire, but if I've got a star and you've got a moon, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's, and also, you're still wearing your same clothes and everything else.
Right,
It's
right.
just to get that extra layer so that it isn't just like one cop shows up and it's like, oh, here's the 55 people I've never been able to finger. I get
Yeah.
who all these people are now.
Does it do like a cool Batman thing to your voice where we all sound different? Where it's like, I'm Bobber Tinkler and I'm going to fucking kill you.
It could, sir. As you know, your needs are our pleasure here. So if you would like I assume, given your interest in becoming a vampire, hence your interest in being a Batman, we could certainly hook you up with something that would alter your voice if you'd like.
Quinny, here's the question, because you're the thief guy who knows what's up. Clearly, we know I'm not a thief and I'm not subtle.
Yeah.
This is a bad environment for me. Do we want me to be mysterious or should I just be a big pain in the ass and draw a lot of attention?
Honestly, I have a feeling you're capable of doing both.
Good. I want to be known as the Forsaken.
There we go.
Blur my face. Blur the wolf's face. His name's going to be Stevem.
Blur his butt. He's got a whole thing with his god right now.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible to have our symbols be seen by only us four?
No, the symbols need to be generalist. If you would like, we have had some requests in past for specific sneaky icons. If you'd like an additional symbol only visible by the four of you, I could have one of our mages whip one of those up at only a small expense.
I feel like I listen. I just want to be known as the Forsaken. Give me a big red X.
Just introduce yourself as the Forsaken
Oh, I'm
dude.
going to. But I also would like a voice that's like, oh, hello, I'm the Forsaken. So basically, can you do British?
Well,
You can do British.
my thought here is we
Oh.
want to be as anonymous as possible.
That's true.
So if we take the most popular symbol
All right, I would like to be
that can be
Merle
seen
Streep.
that can be seen by that can be seen by everybody else, but we have one very specific to the four of us that only we can see. That means we can identify each other, but no one else can identify us out of a crowd of other symbols.
She nods and says, very, very sneaky, ma'am. I can understand why you're here at the Thiefys. She says, so you'd like our most popular symbol then?
I would.
She goes over and she comes back. She said, well, we just so happen one of our VIPs brought a very large retinue, so I'm sure you won't be too conspicuous with these. And she hands out icons of the unseen hand.
This is the most popular symbol at the Thiefys.
No, just one of them, sir. There's a rather large retinue here. There's a very impressive VIP.
Give me that one. And I take it and I put it
So
right
we'll-
on.
We'll all take that symbol as the public symbol. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it might behoove us to
I think
spend
we
the
should
money.
spend the money on the private. So, I mean, you had
Yeah,
to break
right.
one of your stakes into a change, right, Quinny?
I sold them off. Like, I've got gold from them.
Okay, great. I still have a stake.
Yeah, that tracks.
But I'm like, here's my pitch. Why don't we just get the unseen hand with the dick over it, and that'll be our own? Fuck my parents.
Is it going to look like the hand is holding a dick?
No. Like the dick
I
is.
don't-
It's like it's going in the hand.
Do you want like a twist knot?
Yeah, two dicks. Listen, I have a sketch, and I pull out the twist knot sketch that I drew of Ranger the Ranger's two dicks, one jerking the other off, and I'm like, can you do this?
A twist knot? Oh, actually, we have a couple people here who are able to literally do that, but you want it as a symbol.
Yes,
So you want your secret symbol for all of you to be a twist knot.
that's true. No
just
one's
for
gonna
him.
Just for him.
no.
Just
No
for
one's
him.
gonna get. No one's gonna guess it.
No, yeah, you're good.
Mr. Forsaken, you'll be the twist knot.
I would like a nightingale, please.
The Nightingale, and the two of you.
I'm looking at like the gallery that they've got laid out of symbols, and I say that, and I point to a rat skull.
All right, Mr. Rat Skull.
Goblin Jr. looks at the spider symbol on his back and like gestures to it.
A spider. Excellent choice, Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Wolf the Spider is his full name is disguised.
I need suggestions.
Like,
What's the name of that necromancer book you got?
Bo Gentle?
Why don't you pick like a bow, like you put on a present?
Ooh. Oh, it can be like a bow with like a dulled arrow. See? Bow. Gentle.
oh, okay.
Well, that's an oddly specific icon, but luckily our artists are very bored and came up with Bo Gentle, madam. With a snap of her fingers, the symbols glow and your faces blur. Essentially, the layout of the building, there's the large central area. There are sort of enchanted elevators to the north, east, and west, which are sort of platforms. The three towers that ring the building are where the sort of residential areas are. So a lot of the hotel rooms, as well as each one has sort of a top floor deck that has a different thing. So top of one of the towers is the brothel. The top of one of the towers is basically a spa. And the top of one of them is the casino floor.
Got it.
You have full access to those three with your general tokens. So we're going to say brothel is north, casino is west, and spa is east. You guys are going to be staying in the west tower. The way the towers work is they're large cylindrical towers that are cut into 5 rooms in a common area. So the elevator sort of comes up through the middle, and then almost think of it as the toxic logo, like it's divided that way. So all of you have a floor to yourself because there are enough of you, and because you got the wild card token. That one's always a bit of a joke because people generally don't get it. It's a very hard token to get. So they reserve a kind of a cool area for it each time. And usually the joke of the festival is like, no one got it. So you guys are...
Wolf gets that room. Fuck those thieves, man.
And it explains as well that the absolute top of each tower is also an airship docking bay because sometimes people, particularly large VIPs, don't come through. Most thieves come through the sort of like secret entrance. But, you know, if you're inviting the king of somewhere, you don't want him to like fall out of the sky into a desert.
Right.
So people can also arrive by conventional means. Annan has taken you up the elevator. There's one full sort of enchanted glass side to it so you can kind of see the building as you go up. She lets you off on your floor, distributes your keys to each of the rooms. And she asks if there's anything else she can do before she goes.
The only thing I want to ask about is the arena, because she said that there was an arena where there could be fighting, and I want to know all about that shit.
So she hands out itineraries and says basically that the official itinerary will be announced at the welcome kickoff event, which will be happening fairly soon. Tonight's big entertainment is there's sort of in the same way that cops and firefighters often have friendly matches with each other. There will be an arena fight between a fighter sent from the Fighters Guild and a representative of the Thieves Guild.
How's that representative of the Thieves Guild chosen?
She says, "Oh well, sir, I'm afraid I don't know, but you know they've certainly selected someone. I'm afraid I'm not sure what they've merely rented the space, and it's our job to make sure that all of your needs are met."
You want to get in there, don't you?
And then I think you should go. We got some splaining to do.
Okay, well, I mean, enjoy. And if there's anything at all you need, there are bells in each room that are enchanted. So all you need to do is ding twice, and we'll be there to help.
Can I pull Annan aside? Your service is wonderful, as always.
Why, thank you. Very nice to have you back, Bryn.
Could you please tell him I'd like to speak with him?
I will try. Yes, you know, he's a very busy man.
And if you can help me in any way, I'd be very appreciative. And I give her a token, one of my I owe you a favor tokens.
So she looks at it, smiles at you, kind of nods, but says, I'll help you as much as I can, but you understand that my loyalties have to be to him first, right?
Of course.
And she kind of winks, and she heads back.
During that discreet conversation, I'd like to pull Alan aside.
So I'm
Discreet
standing in the middle of the room with the
conversation.
wolf. I pull Goblin Jr. aside to have a fake secret conversation. I'm just like, why is no one including us?
Snarf, snarf.
The Forsaken indeed.
And I just settle up to him and be like, hey, Bobbert.
Oh, see, and I hate that. So this is a quick conversation. Very secretively. I take out the ball that I pulled from the ball pit at the play place at McSquiggly's. And I ask you, Alan, can you enchant this to make it look like a soul stone? Not necessarily right now, but we might need insurance for later.
Just a second.
Alan leaps through her book of spells.
Her eyes roll up and her eyelids
Like
flutter.
floating.
going her Rolodex.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she goes,
Sorry,
it's a
what do you
beautiful
want it to look
mind
like?
on it. Like
The
piano
soul- the
starts
soul
playing and just
orbs.
like,
She enters her mind palace.
Yeah.
She's like flipping through a library of perfectly laid out books.
This
and
is
scrolls.
Trinity learning to pilot a helicopter right here.
Yep.
And I spot this over the shoulder of our new guest, and I'm just like, "Hey, you're just talking about stuff. Let's be friends." Like I'm just like, "Don't turn around and see floating Alan. Don't turn around and see floating Alan."
To reiterate, can you magic this playpen ball into a soul stone? Or at least make it look like a soul sphere?
Being from the School of Conjuration, you would think I could. But surprisingly, the majority of my spells are evocation and abjuration spells. In a word, no.
So no.
Correct.
Okay.
the one word Quiddy understood of that entire
Yeah,
sentence.
no, a lot of that was hard.
So seeing
I pocket the ball again.
seeing Alan stop floating and go back to normal, I'm like, "All right, guys, huddle up." But metaphorically, we have this whole room to ourselves.
Yeah. So you know there's going to be a welcome address soon. Until then, you have free reign of this floor. What do you want to do?
Here's what I'm thinking. Day one is going to be a lot of figuring out who's doing what, because we
Yeah.
don't know any players. We don't really know what we're doing. But we got the Thieves Guild champion fighting the Fighters Guild champion. We don't know who this champion is. However, one of the easiest ways for us to probably move everything forwards is to rig that fight. And the easiest way to rig that fight is to put me in that ring.
I think that's a great idea because Meryl likes a good fight, so she'll definitely be there.
So I'm like, if we can take out whoever the fight champ is, I don't know, find out if they're allergic to shellfish and feed him Neverwinter crabs or whatever the equivalent is. I don't know a lot about food. Listen, I was on the sea, but I just ate fruit. Somehow we got to be able to manipulate putting me in that ring. If you want to bet to win, I'm going to fucking win.
Oh, I'm planning on betting some tokens and raking it in that way.
That's what I mean. We might even be able to bet our way up to like VIP shit if we could trade, or the individual thief tokens. I bet people will put those down. Worst case scenario, we make a shitload of gold.
Yep.
I'm going to be terrible at every part except the fighting.
No, I know. This is an excellent way for you to play to your strengths. Yeah, I wouldn't mind socializing a bit too at the main event and see what we can learn about how this all works and Merle herself.
So I'll probably walk around and just be an asshole. That seems like a good way to have people think I'm tough. I mean, we're all in this unseen hand crap, so there won't be blowback out the gate.
Yeah.
I just want to explore the whole place, as
Good.
usual.
Keep your wits about you, though, okay? Yeah. There's a lot of people here who would want to take advantage of someone who's, we'll say, still learning about the ways of the world, right?
I think I'm just going to stay pretty silent, to be honest.
Okay.
You hear sort of a three-tone as the elevator, which is just sort of an enchanted platform, comes up. So it notifies you that it's coming. Sort of the doors slide open, and Annan comes out, and she looks a little bit guilty, and she kind of shoots a look to you, Bryn. She says, "I'm so sorry. He doesn't want to see you." And then she turns to look at Al, and she says, "He wants to see you." And she hands you an envelope with a seal on it.
Who is he?
The head of the Thieves Guild.
Why?
He didn't tell me. He just gave me this envelope.
Okay. I was going to keep a low profile. What the shit?
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons.